following episode may, and most likely does, contain spoilers, foul language, and the heart of the cards. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back, everybody, to another rousing episode of Two Dicks Exposed.
Rousing.
Part 2 of our movie series. I am not Mike.
I am not Pat?
I have to think about that
Wait.
for a second.
I am Pat. You are Mike. I'm not Mike.
I'm not Pat.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh my god, we're doing great.
Yeah, we are doing great.
So if you tuned in last week, you saw us horribly stumble through anime movies where we kind of shit on Studio Ghibli.
Kind of.
We talked about a bunch of other animes where we were like, oh yeah, there's this great anime we never watched. So we're going to take that to the next step. We are reviewing anime movies based off of anime series, whether they're continuations, whether they're just random one-offs, or, you know, loosely based, like kind of anything early stage Dragon Ball Z where all the same characters doesn't fit into a timeline whatsoever.
No. Yeah. It's something that we can actually talk about, like unlike our last
episode where
we started writing our list of like movies that like are based off of animes, and it's like, man, like this could be like a 3 or 4 parter alone.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I mean, the Dragon Ball alone.
Yeah.
And Pokemon alone.
Yeah, I mean, down the line, you're going to get 5 or 6 episodes that are just Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
The timeline of everything, because I love it, and I've watched everything Dragon Ball, I've read everything Dragon Ball, I read extended fanfic, and, you know, like, it's like Absalon, Dragon Ball Absalon on YouTube. There's only like 5 episodes out. It's all a fan animated thing, but it is so freaking beautiful and dark. Like, it's amazing.
The only Dragon Ball YouTube thing I watch is Dragon Ball Z Abridged,
which is fantastic.
It's fantastic. I actually just started rewatching it.
As you should.
I started from the Frieza saga.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Saiyan saga is solid and it has like some of the most quotable stuff in the world, but it is slow. You can tell like that's how they kicked it off. But I digress.
Let's talk about actual Dragon Ball movies, though.
Let's talk about actual Dragon Ball Z movies.
Take a pick. So, which one do you want to talk about?
We'll start old school, man. You had Dead Zone, the first Dragon Ball Z movie,
which makes no sense plot-wise.
Nothing. There's literally no Dragon Ball Z movie that fit in the timeline.
No, yeah.
Because you have Dead Zone, which is Garlic Jr., which is Goku, Piccolo, Krillin, and Gohan getting abducted, or Gohan's abducted. The rest of them go to save them.
Right.
So the only way this would semi fit in is if it took place before Raditz came to Earth, but also after Raditz came to Earth.
Yeah, it's because Goku, Piccolo doesn't immediately want to kill Goku.
Right. Yeah, like they're friends, but Goku's also alive, which you know, one of the great things.
One thing that I love about Dead Zone is that and Dragon Ball Z Abridged like made this joke like years after like I pointed it out. We had this conversation like way back. I'm talking like our buddies, like one of his like birthday parties when we were sitting around the table, like we would be like me, you, and a couple other friends. We'd always like be sitting there while they'd be outside playing volleyball, and we'd be talking anime. We had brought up the discussion of like Dead Zone, and I pointed out like if Garlic Jr.'s henchmen were like legit and like actually did their job, then how the hell does Garlic Jr. become immortal? Because the whole point is the movie starts off with Piccolo being attacked by Garlic Jr.'s henchmen and
getting killed.
Right. But it's if he did die, then how does Garlic Jr. get his wish?
Right, because Dragon Balls don't exist anymore.
Yeah, they don't exist. And it's something that like I didn't think about when I was a kid, right? Because I love those movies. I love all of them, honestly.
They're all great.
All great. None of them make any sense, but they're fantastic.
Because you also have... Okay, I guess BoJack could make sense.
I do like BoJack.
BoJack could take place after Cell Games, where Future Trunks just decides, I want to come back
and chill. Yeah,
right. Which
Super Android 13 could make sense.
Yeah, it could.
It could have taken place during the Cell Games, before the Cell Games.
But
like before, like because like Vegeta Super Saiyan, Goku's still walking around.
Yeah, I guess the only time it could have taken place is during like that there's that episode where it's just called like A Moment of Peace or something like that,
right.
where they were all just hanging out. But in Super Android 13, Gohan and Goku would have still been in their Super Saiyan state the entire time because that's how they trained to make Super Saiyan their base form.
Yeah.
So
kind of.
A movie that falls in line in the same type of aspect too is the original Brawly movie. That would be in the same timeline right before Cell games.
Because Vegeta is able to go Super Saiyan in that movie.
Right, they're all able to go Super Saiyan. Gohan hasn't reached 2 yet though.
Right. So like again, it would
Right, it would just be like, oh, the Cell games are about to happen. Some guy, Paragus, comes to Earth and it's like, hey, I got this other planet if you want to say fuck this one.
Right.
Fuck Cell. Let's go home.
Dude, I will not, like, again, just giving DBZA the credit that it deserves. When they finally gave us that Brawly movie.
The Dragon Ball Super Brawly was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Bad dub choice now that we know, but I love everything about that movie because now officially Brawly is canon.
He's canon. Although not in the anime or in the manga yet.
Right.
Just in the movie, he's been referenced.
Do they reference him in the manga? Like, do they even like say like, "Oh, Brawly," and then they just go on to something else?
No.
So,
although you know what's hype
canon,
though,
then.
They have referenced Oob in the manga.
Have they really?
Yeah, in the Super. And then, granted, he was in the last chapter of Dragon Ball Z,
right.
but they have referenced him in Super.
Nice.
And Goku was basically just like, yeah, there's this power level I'm keeping an eye on Earth, but he's not ready to be trained yet.
Gotcha.
Like, just something along those lines. But no, I mean, Brawly is canon just because Toriyama has said, like,
he's canon.
Every movie I'm making is canon.
Right.
So I guess it might get animated the same way they did with
Resurrection of F and
Battle of Gods, where it was just kind of like that took a season and compressed it.
Right.
And I would kind of be okay with a Brawly season.
I would be okay with that. More Brawly is never a bad thing.
Right. And Brawly is in Dragon Ball Superhero as well.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
I need to watch that.
You really do. It's
I really
so
need
good,
to.
dude. And what's cool about Superhero is, he came out and he was like, I want to make a movie not based on Goku and Vegeta because I've shoved Goku and Vegeta down your throat.
Right.
So the movie starts off and it's like Goku, Vegeta, Brawly, Chila, and the little worm-looking guy. I don't remember his name. But they're all on Whis' planet, like, training. And
Brawly's training?
Kind of.
Oh, okay.
So, like, Goku and Vegeta start, like, fighting each other and all that stuff. And Brawly's like, I want to join in. And he starts, like, powering up. And everyone's like, no, stop. Do not power up on this planet. Like,
calm down.
Right. They're like, you will sit here and you will watch. That is how you are training.
Yeah.
So then, like, Goku and Vegeta just start fighting. And then it flashes forward to Earth. And now the main characters are just Piccolo and Pan, pretty much, like the entire movie. And then at the very end of the movie, Goku and Vegeta finish their fight.
Nice.
So
all right.
It's like they're not a part of the movie whatsoever.
I respect it because I mean, one thing I don't like about Dragon Ball is the fact that like you have the Z Warriors, which is such like a cool moment for me, like in the Vegeta saga. Mm-hmm. Like it was such a build up. Like you get Tenshinhan, Yamcha, like oh man, the Z fighters.
Right.
It was what they were called: Tenshinhan, Yamcha, Krillin, Piccolo, Chaozu,
Yamcha.
Yeah, Yamcha again.
Yeah. Oh, did you say Yamcha?
I think so.
I mean, he's the most important character.
He's the most important character. But
there's no character development without Yamcha.
I mean, at least he knows how to do something in real life besides fight.
Without Yamcha, Krillin would not have been able to kill all those Cybermen.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, again, I gotta give Yamcha, like, Yamcha's only, like, the only reason why Yamcha gets shit on, and I truly believe this, is that, like, he had to become a bitch so that Bulma could fuck Vegeta and it'd be okay. You had to find a way to, like, just shove off their relationship like it never fucking mattered, so that Vegeta could have a reason to stay on Earth.
You know what my favorite fan theory is?
What's that?
Bulma used the Dragon Ball. So she broke up with Yamcha after Dragon Ball.
I remember this.
But before Dragon Ball Z, and she had found the Dragon Balls, and she had wished for a boyfriend. So the dragon kind of just took longer to do it, but that's why all of a sudden the Saiyans came to Earth, because Vegeta needed to come to Earth to fulfill this wish for Bulma. So
I dig that theory.
I'm all about that theory.
So let's talk about other movies because this is.
Are you sure you don't want to just make this?
It literally could just be a whole Dragon Ball episode
just on the movies.
Just on the movies alone. I mean, shit, really good. I mean, what else? You got Tree of Might.
Cooler.
Dude,
the Cooler series.
God, I love Cooler.
Was amazing.
I love Cooler.
Oh my god. And
he's better.
You know what sucks? The movies now, like, they've all been re-released and they don't have the original soundtracks. But the original Dragon Ball Z soundtracks that came out, like, Lord Slug had Disturbed on their soundtrack.
Really?
Yeah. Cooler had Deftones. So, like, Goku going Super Saiyan and, like, reviving the bird, you know, it's like,
right.
I will watch you change. And, you know, it's like that in the background as that's happening. Dude, that's like awesome. So epic, but you can't find that anymore. Like, unless you have the VHS tapes, like, it just doesn't exist.
I have the Steelbooks DVDs. I wonder if they have it. I'll have to try them out, see.
You'll have to check.
Yeah.
I know, I have the Lord Slug VHS where right on the cover it has, like, a little sticker that says featuring music from Disturbed.
Oh, dude.
And it's just like, oh, this is so epic.
I'm trying to think, to Dragon Ball movies. I had something in my mind.
Hey, Lord Slug was awesome.
Lord Slug was great.
Lord Slug was amazing.
Again, doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because the Namekians exist, but Goku's not Super Saiyan. Like, Planet Namek exists.
Yeah, Goku's not Super Saiyan. Cooler doesn't make sense because Goku is Super Saiyan.
Yeah. But he's back on
Earth.
Which would mean that Vegeta would be on Earth.
Yes. Which I guess you could say, like, he just didn't want to go camping with him.
Right.
I don't know.
No, but the second of a Friezayan, whatever their race is called, the Refrigerator Gang.
Gang.
Once the Fridge Gang shows up, I feel like Vegeta would have showed up. He'd be like, oh, a chance to kill.
Like, he definitely would have been like, what's this power level?
Yeah.
He'd be like, is that Frieza?
DBZ Bridge, is that me? Is that me stronger than me? It's like my favorite line.
Not me.
Oh,
is
when
that me stronger than me?
Yeah, I love it. Another anime that also has a butt ton of movies we could talk about is Pokemon.
So, oh my god. So, I think Pokemon was one of the first times I cried. Like, really cried.
I still cry at that scene. To this day, in my 30s, I cry in that moment.
You know, okay, so we're going to come back to Pokemon, the movie.
Okay.
But Pokemon made a new movie, which I believe was a Netflix movie. And it was like...
Oh, Pokemon I Choose You.
Yes.
It's just a retelling of...
It's a retelling of it, but all the Pokemon exist, and, like, Brock and Misty aren't his partners anymore. It's like, you know, some different partners going on there, but...
What?
Yeah, it's a whole different... It's not a I don't know how to describe it. It still follows Ash on his journey from Pallet Town, but it's completely different than the journey that you know.
Right.
They still kill Ash at the end, and, like...
Still
bald.
Still, okay. All right.
It's like one of those things where it's like, at the end of it, I think they're fighting, like, a legendary bird or something like that, like Zapdos or something like that. And it, like...
What?
All the Pokemon have somehow turned evil, and Zapdos, like, fries Ash.
So it's, like, completely different.
It's completely different.
Oh, jeez, I gotta watch that,
You gotta watch it.
I thought it was, like, just a retelling of Pokemon, the first movie.
No, God. Oh. Well, they did make, like, Pokemon, the movie 3D, which is a scene-for-scene retelling.
You know, which is weird, because we talked about CGI being bad in our last episode, but, like, I actually don't mind the CGI in that movie.
It was okay.
Yeah,
I didn't hate it.
No.
It didn't have the same feeling as, like, the original movie, but
yeah,
it was good. But yeah, in this other movie, you know, like, Ash still dies, but it's cool in this one because Pikachu, instead of crying, he freaks the fuck out and just, like, wrecks every other Pokemon.
Dude, hell yeah. All right, I'll have to watch that one.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of that, but...
I'm also a big fan of Pokemon 2000.
With the birds?
Yes. I love that movie.
Dude, so good.
Like, because they I don't know if they ever show Zapdos, Moltres, or Articuno in the original anime.
I don't know about the anime.
Yeah, like, I know...
In the manga, Lieutenant Surge had a Zapdos.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I did not... I read some of the manga.
Blaine was a Mewtwo. The manga was weird.
Yeah. Well, it has it's
nothing to do with it.
It's what? Red and blue. Not Ash.
Right.
Yeah. I like the Pokemon 2000 movie because it was like all three legendaries, which, you know, when we were kids, you got to catch all three in Pokemon Red and Blue.
Right.
So seeing them like doing their thing, and then I think that was like around the time I always point out like in like I think Pokemon the first movie in 2000, you see second generation Pokemon before second generation Pokemon came out. I can't remember when Gold and Silver dropped, but I know for a fact Pokemon the first movie had
Donphan in it.
Donphan and Meryl and the Pokemon
and
Pikachu.
the little short thing before it, like the babysitting Togepi or whatever.
Yeah, Togepi.
Togepi, yeah. Well, Togepi, I want to say, was like the first Gen 2 Pokemon released because they hatched it and then Misty started carrying it.
Yeah, because that was was in the Ember Isles or something like that.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you.
Another like just going.
We're going back to like 2007 or 2008 or whatever.
Yeah, you know what? I want a Pokemon movie on the GS ball. Give me that answer.
Someone told me they gave you the answer in the manga.
No.
And I don't know what it was.
It's supposedly supposed to be to catch Celebi. I think that's what
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, that's boring.
It's dumb. But other movies that are worth mentioning, we saw Jujutsu Kaisen 0. We saw that together.
Which is funny because also does not line up with the storyline of the manga. But I mean, we won't go into that because I generally don't remember why it doesn't line up. I just remember like
it just doesn't line up.
How they set the characters up does not match with what the next season is going to be.
I just recently rewatched that movie. I don't remember why I rewatched it, but like for some reason I decided to watch it again, and that still was obsessed.
Is it streaming anywhere yet?
It's on Crunchyroll.
Is it on Crunchy?
Yep.
Okay, I'll have to rewatch that because that was a solid animated movie.
If you look at the history, it's on there.
Okay.
Very recently.
We don't share that app. No. We each pay for it individually.
Yeah, we both pay for it individually. Yes, because that's what you're supposed to do.
Because we are red-blooded Americans.
Yes.
Yes.
Capitalism. What else?
We have to also touch on childhood favorite, Digimon the movie.
Oh my God, yes.
And I'm going to throw it out there. I mean the Americanized movie that was dropped in theaters by Fox Kids.
Yes.
Because that movie is actually the Japanese Digimon 1, 2, and 3 movies.
Is
all
it really?
Combined. Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah. So
I did not know that.
The first part where it's like Kid Tai and Kid Kari with Greymon and everything, that is Digimon movie 1 in Japan.
Really?
Yes. And then Digimon movie 2 is
where they're fighting
Omnimon versus Diabolomon.
Diabolomon.
And then Digimon movie 3 is the Gen 2 adventurers going against Kokomon.
Yeah, Kokomon.
So it's actually all 3 movies that they just cut down and made one long movie for America.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow, that makes sense knowing that now. Like how like because artistically speaking, they are very
Vastly
much
different.
3 different art styles.
Yes.
But I mean, like, you know, Animatrix did that.
Yeah, Animatrix did that.
But
I gotta say, I love that art style though, where they had the red outline as opposed to like the black outline on everything. I don't know if you picked up on that, but I did.
I'll never watch it.
Yeah, it's like everything has a red outline on it, and then it's colored in, but it just makes it look like
it pops.
Crisp and different.
Right.
Yeah, it's at least the Omnimon second movie has that.
Dude, when I saw that movie, that was the first time I think we were introduced to Omnimon.
Yeah.
Who is my favorite Digimon.
He's boss.
He is boss.
Which I think his new name is Omegamon.
Omnimon
renamed him.
And Imperial Dramon are my 2 favorite.
Imperial Dramon's dope. I gotta stick with War Greymon. He's my boy. And Angemon.
Which War Greymon though?
I like them both.
I like Black.
You can't hate Black War Greymon.
I like Black War Greymon, but yeah.
He's the best part of Adventure 2.
Yes.
But I don't know, man. Like, still thinking back to the first episode when you get Metal Garurumon and War Greymon, like, you know, that was just epic.
Yeah.
Like, that was better than anything Pokemon had given you at that point.
No. Pokemon is just Digimon's the better anime.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. I don't even think that's a hot take. I think everyone agrees.
I think everyone agrees.
Yeah. It's just a better anime.
Although, for some reason, I remember back when we were watching it, you had to be one or the other.
You had
to. You had to either like
Line was
Digimon
drawn.
or you had to like Pokemon. If you liked them both, you could not admit to it.
No, yeah, you were mocked. Like, oh, you're trying to just be on both sides.
Which is funny because like I remember watching Pokemon first, and then going to Digimon, and after watching like the second episode, realizing that once they digivolve, they revert back to their first form, and I was like, this is so stupid. Like, you know, why would they get stronger just to get weaker again? Like, where's the development in this? You know, as you get through season 1, you just realize like Digimon is so much better.
Yeah, and I mean all the other seasons after.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Digimon just continuously gets better as Pokemon became more like toddler friendly.
Yeah,
throughout it.
it's just a rehash of like every generation. Like Digimon matured with its audience, whereas Pokemon decided to just revert for the like. Okay, this generation's old enough to not care about me anymore, so let's revert back to ground one.
And I mean, it's reflected in the animation. Like the Digidestins grow up with you, as opposed to Ash, who has been 10 for 25 years.
Yeah. What else? You got Mugen Train.
We got Mugen Train.
We got to talk about.
I've said it before. That was a movie that didn't need that much CG.
No.
I think that kind of took me out of it.
But that final fight, though.
The final fight was amazing. And I'm kind of pissed because I skipped watching that in the anime because I was told it was basically just a scene for scene retelling, and I listened to who that was. So my like only experience with Rengoku is that movie.
Right.
And I kind of feel like I should go back and watch the anime just to experiencing more, because like he was the best part of the movie.
He was the best part.
Was easily the best part of the movie, and spoiler, I guess.
Yeah, no.
It's the number one anime movie in the world with like $400 billion grossed.
Yeah.
So
spoiler if you haven't watched it.
It's on you if you haven't watched it, especially because season 3's come out now. When he died, like, dude, that sucked.
I cried.
That sucked.
That moment when he's on his knees and
just smiling,
smiling, and he sees his mom.
He sees his mom.
Oh, dude, weeping like a baby in the theaters, dude. I didn't care. Like I was surrounded by like other like grown men, and I'm like, if you all ain't crying too, then get the fuck out of here.
You just all stood up and just held each other. Although I gotta say, one of my favorite memes I've seen is him, like the demon guy, I don't remember his name, with his arm through Rengoku,
Isaiah,
shaking the hand of the
captain
from One Piece with his hand through
Ace.
And they're like, nice to meet you.
The difference being is that fuck Ace, right? Like realistically, if you want to break it down, they both exist to be dead. They
exist to further the character
development. Like they have to die so the others can run. But at the same time,
that's a weird turn of that phrase.
Yeah, I mean,
you need to die so I can run.
Yeah, you can pretty much. Without Ace's death, like what does Luffy do? He just continues being a basic bitch rubber dude.
Yeah.
Now he's like top tier
rubber dude.
Top tier rubber dude.
Yes.
Which I guess we could segue into some One Piece movies. I just recently watched One Piece Red, which was fantastic. I loved it.
And I think that's like number 7 in top grossed.
Yeah, it got like a shit ton of yen.
Yeah.
Like it is which is not to be like, you know, like I get why it made a lot of money. It set itself up for there's a form that Luffy has in the manga called Gear 5, and it's supposed to be the first time you see it animated, but you don't actually see Gear 5 like he looks like Gear 5 in the movie, but like the abilities that come with being Gear 5 are not in the anime. So he looks like Gear 5, like he looks like it, not even like fully. You only see him like there's this whole red tint thing that's going on, right? So it red tints him, so you don't like fully see like his color. Cause that's like an argument that's going on right now is like what is his official color scheme in Gear 5? I mean, like we all know what the color scheme is. Like Oda's come out and said like this is what he looks like. And,
didn't he have like a colored page on like the chapter right after he was revealed?
Yeah, Shonen Jump did like a color spread or something like that, and it clearly shows him with white hair,
everything white.
Yeah, but people still they think it's yellow, like be like Super Saiyan. Yeah, but
actually, which is funny because going back to it, Lord Slug did the same thing.
Right,
they had Goku go like Super Saiyan before Super Saiyan was a thing.
He like
he basically went like Kaioken. That's what he looked like. His eyes like turned white and he had like this red aura. And King Kai's like, oh my god, he's gone to this legendary Super Saiyan, you know.
Right, but it wasn't
man of myth, but it's
fully.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of see it, but he's all red, so it masks the color scheme, and he's doing Gear 4 abilities, which is like, okay, that's what he looks like, but that's not his abilities. But what's so great about Red is the music in it. Like the music, I've listened to that soundtrack like multiple times.
Is it Disturbed or Deftones?
It's not Disturbed or Deftones.
Five Finger Death Punch.
It is it's J-pop.
Oh,
yeah.
BTS for days.
That's K-pop.
Oh,
shame.
Almost there.
I'm almost there.
Almost there.
I'm slowly becoming worldly.
But yeah, you also have One Piece Z, which is worth mentioning as well.
On Netflix.
On Netflix, and One Piece World's Strongest, which is also on Netflix.
Okay.
There's a couple that are like you need to like actually watch if you like actually get into One Piece, and that's One Piece Gold and
is that about Gold Roger?
No, it's how to explain it. Like a guy has pretty much the Midas touch.
Oh, okay.
And then what's the other one where they find the Logue town, the Logue pose, for Raftail Island? My other One Piece fan that's sitting on the couch. Yeah, you know which one it is. It's another big one. Stampede was the One Piece movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
I'm gonna act like I knew that.
yeah, of course, yeah. But that's like the only other like One Piece movie that I mean, like, again, probably not the right thing to say because like all the One Piece movies are actually worth watching, but like I think Stampede, Z, Strong World, and probably Red are probably the top four that like I would recommend definitely watching.
But you were saying Gold is the only one that actually
Gold
falls into the storyline.
No, Red is supposed to be canon.
Okay.
Yeah, Red. Oda came out and said it was canon, but like if you really like think about it, it's another one of those like Dragon Ball issues where like
it just doesn't fit in the timeline.
It could if like the only time it takes place is during the escape from Whole Cake to Wano. I got to go into the Berserk movies just because I have to just remind. Like,
you just have to get your blood pressure.
I have to get my blood pressure out. The biggest affront to Berserk are not only Berserk 2016, but the Berserk movies, which are the Golden Age movies.
Okay.
They are horribly like it's like better. It's better CGI than 2016. All right, it's better, but better doesn't make it bearable. It's still bad. The only thing they do is they add some things that are in the manga that weren't in the original anime. But it's still horrible. And for some reason, they decided that we needed a director's cut because they want to like be like, "Hey, this is good, right?" And like the fan base is just. Oh my god!
They released the Zack Snyder.
They released the Zack Snyder Berserk and thinking like that's what we wanted.
This is it.
Yeah, but unlike the real world where people actually wanted the Zack Snyder cut, they were like, "Give us a Zack Snyder cut," and they're like, they gave it to us, and like it was.
They just forced it down our throat instead.
Yeah, they were like, "Here, you want this."
They're like, "What do you mean it didn't do good? Well, what about if we made it twice as long?
Yeah,
have it."
It's bad. I will go into movies that are worth watching that I would say like you should watch, and that would be the Gundam movies. There's multiple Gundam movies.
I didn't know you liked Gundam.
You didn't know I like Gundam? I
didn't know you liked Gundam.
Oh man,
how come you've never talked about it before?
Never once discussed.
Never came up.
So I might have touched on it a little bit, but the original Mobile Suit Gundam is not like the 1960s anime. It's not worth watching. All right, like
kind of like old school Doctor Who.
Like it's good. It has its like its point in the whole like franchise, but I would tell people who like want to get into the Universal Century. Besides the obvious, which is start with the Gundam Origin movies. Mm-hmm. But when you get to UC0079, just watch the 3 Gundam movies, which is Gundam 1. I'm trying to think. I'm just going to cheat. Soldiers of Sorrow and Encounters in Space, which are just 3 movies that retell the entirety of the original Gundam series.
So, like, you could watch those movies in lieu of watching the series?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a bunch of there's a bunch of animes that do that. They have like here's an anime movie that just retells. One Piece does it. There's a
well, that's what Mugen Train is. That's season 2 of Demon Slayer.
Well, Mugen Train we got before the anime,
right? So
it's one of those like movies turned into anime episodes. This is just anime episodes turned into movies.
I got you.
The flip of that.
Okay.
One Piece does that. They have the Skypiea movie, the Water 7 movie, and so on and so forth. I'm probably wrong about Water 7 movie. But I know there's a Skypiea movie, an Alabasta movie. Inuyasha has a bunch of movies. I don't know if you ever watched any of them.
I read a little bit of Inuyasha back in like early 2000s.
Okay.
But that was one of those ones where it's like I just picked up whatever books were available at the library. Mm-hmm. So like I'd read like volume 2 and then volume 14 and then like nothing was ever in order.
Right.
I did like the same thing with Ranma 1/2. Like I think I read all of Ranma 1/2, just not in the right order.
Just not and the actual sequential order.
Right.
The only thing I like about the Inuyasha movies, and this is like going based off of like what I remember, because I watched them when I was like maybe 17 or 16 years old.
Okay.
But in one of the movies, you get to see Inuyasha's dad, which was like a character that like it's always hinted at how powerful he was. So in one of the movies, you actually do get to see like some of his strength, and it's like, all right, dope. It's like Naruto. Like if Naruto never gave us Minato, like if he never got resurrected, we just had to understand
Boruto's granddad.
Yeah, Boruto's granddad. Like if you were just told this entire time that he's this badass, but you never got to see him be a badass.
Mm-hmm. While we did touch on Naruto, though, I heard something which I'm kind of hype about. Apparently, they're letting fans vote on what side character gets an anime based off of them, and Minato is actually winning right now.
He better fucking.
So I would fucking love to have a miniseries based on the Yellow Flash.
All of our fans, all of 17,
all 17 fans,
whoever can do hacking and create code, please just make a code that votes for Minato like every 2 seconds. Just repeatedly. Because Minato needs to win.
Yeah.
Like
I don't even remember who else was on there. Like I think Kakashi was on there, but it's like we already got Kakashi Gaiden, so I don't need anything else.
I like Kakashi, but I don't care enough about him. I honestly do not care enough about him to want a series about him.
Kakashi is just a well-rounded character. He's like not cool in any crazy way.
Yeah.
Like he was cool in the beginning because he had Sharingan, but then fucking everyone did.
Everyone got it. So once Renegade came into the place, who the fuck cared about Sharingan?
Right.
Yeah. So I guess while we're talking about Naruto, we can talk about Naruto the last movie. Did you see that one?
I haven't, no.
Oh my god. It finally... Like, my OTP in all of anime history has always been Naruto and Hinata. Like, I've been fighting for them two to be together since, like, day one. Because Sakura is, like, useless and garbage.
Yeah.
And so, like, when the Boruto came out and you find out that Sakura ends up with Sasuke and Naruto ends up with Hinata, it was like, okay, like, how? Like, Naruto never once looked at Hinata.
Right.
And so Naruto the Last is literally about how Naruto falls in love with Hinata.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I can say, though, like, when I read through that originally, I didn't see that happening whatsoever. Like, I knew Hinata had a crush on him. So I was just like, all right, maybe that's just an easy cop-out at the end. They're just going to make them happen because obviously Sakura and him isn't going to happen.
Right.
But then when I reread it, I saw, like, little things that actually pointed towards that.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, like... What did Sakura do? She cried when Pain destroyed the village. She was like, oh my god, Naruto, come save me. And then Naruto shows up. He starts fighting Pain, right? And then he gets, like, stabbed into the ground. And Sakura's still sitting up there crying, like, oh, save the village, oh, blah, blah. What does Hinata do? Jumps right down in there and says, like, yo, you ain't messing with my man. And, like, actually tries to go toe-to-toe with Pain while all Sakura did was cry.
One of the cool things too was I guess it was right before Naruto unlocked like the full like Biju mode or whatever, and Sakura went up to him and was like, hey Naruto, why don't you just come back to the village? Like I realized I love you, we can just be together and all that.
Right.
And Naruto was like, man, I've waited like 10 years to hear you say that, and it just hurts so bad right now because I know it's a bold-faced lie.
I know it's a straight-up lie.
Yeah. And then like 5 chapters later, Sasuke tries to kill her. Naruto jumps in, saves her, and she's still like, I still love Sasuke.
I want Sasuke to give me babies. Yeah. There's so many Naruto movies. There's the one where he goes to prison, where they don't tell him why he's going to prison.
Are there velociraptors in it?
No.
Oh, damn it.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
Sasuke goes to prison and he fights a velociraptor.
Yes, I need to read that. Dang it, I forgot about that. I don't know, man. Like, other anime movies. Yu Hakusho has a movie, which I do like because you do get to see Hiei use Dragon of the Darkness Flame, which is an ability that he gets like in the later series, and you only ever see him use it twice in the entirety of Yu Hakusho. He only uses it twice. So like in the movie, he does it like he uses it, but he like shoots out 2.
If I just start watching that from season 2, will I miss anything important?
If you literally start when he gets his body back, no, you will not miss anything. Like, start when he gets his body back. Like, because that's when he becomes a detective fully. That's when he goes on his first. It's when he fights Gokenki. I don't know, some one-off demon. But then you get introduced to Kurama and Hiei right afterwards, which are like 2 recurring characters, and then just goes from there. It's so good, and then you get Genkai and the St. Peace Tower, and
unlock their Genkais.
It's so many, like, just it rolls. It's really it's a fantastic series, and it has one of the best tournament arcs in my opinion.
There's 2 tournament arcs, isn't there?
There are 2, but we don't really talk about the second one. Tagashi kind of did what Tagashi did, and he kind of like started to fizzle out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the last one, it's, he kind of was like right. He was gunning towards the end so he can wrap up.
Just trying to fast track it.
Yeah, he was just this. I think this is when his pain started to like come like actually be a thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I don't know any other anime movies really worth talking about.
I mean, I think we put together a great episode.
It's a great list.
It's a great episode about, all these anime movies where we only talked about Naruto and Dragon Ball Z.
Really,
and a little bit of One Piece.
And Pokemon and Digimon. How we cried as, Yeah, little babies. I
still little
cry.
Babies and full-grown men.
Yeah, still, to this day. When Pikachu was just chew and shocking him and all, I was like, I can start crying just thinking about that scene.
Oh,
I can will myself to cry.
Ash sitting there as a little rock boy.
Yeah, man. Like,
Pika, Pika.
If I became an actor tomorrow and they were like, in this scene we need you to cry, like think about something sad that happens to you, I would just rethink that scene like in my brain, and it would just start to make me cry. He's such a good actor. He can cry on command. Really, I'm just thinking about Ash coming
it's
back.
It's like the worst childhood trauma you have. It's just, I hope in these final episodes we get to meet Ash's dad.
I hope so.
I really hope it's Professor Oak.
They did tease the last episode, and 2 characters do return for the very last episode of Ash.
I saw one of them. I think is Butterfree.
I don't know. I didn't see that one. I didn't see that tease.
Okay.
But if you want me to tell you, I can tell you.
Yeah, sure.
Brock and Misty come back on the last.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Brock is like the pewter gym, and Misty's this. Or no, Brock is. He's on one island with like a.
Yeah, he's on an island with a professor.
But Misty's the Cerulean gym leader, so
she's not
right
that far away. Yeah. But I think like they supposedly Brock finally gets his girl. Like there's like they.
Oh, I hope it's Nurse Joy or Officer Jenny.
Or which one?
Both.
But which?
I really hope it's like a third sister that.
Like, it's even hotter than those 2.
Right, she's. I don't even know what she would be. She could be like a teacher or something like that. Because then she goes home, and that's how her and Brock fall in love, because Brock has like the 17 younger brothers and sisters.
Yes.
And she's like, "Oh, I've had all your kids in my class," and Brock's like, "Oh, I love you."
No.
Oh.
This is who Brock ends up with, because you're correct.
Okay.
But in the opposite direction, he winds up hooking up with Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny's mom.
Yo.
Because she would have look at all the kids she has.
She is accustomed to like 17,000 kids.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That's how it ends.
Okay, so I know Joy carries over in every season. Does Jenny as well?
I guess so. All the Jennies and all the Joys are related.
Yeah, I know they're all cousins or something.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I like this. I'm more invested in Brock's story now.
I want Brock to get with that mom.
Oh,
more MILFs, please, in anime.
And you know what? She's a great mom too. She raised an entire generation of nurses.
She put all through nurse college, and all through
nurse college and cop college.
Cop college. There you go.
You think she got a 2-for-1 deal?
I think she bought their enrollment in what did she did the thing where like they all went to school, but they all chose like 7 of them, and they all had to go to like school on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. There's a Netflix movie based on this idea.
Yeah, like Where's Tuesday or something.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah,
but like not with murder. It's just
I got you on another one. Let's dive deeper into this.
All right.
Joy and
Officer Jenny. All right.
Their mom ex-husband is Giovanni. That's how they got divorced. Jenny and Joy's mom got all the money from it, and that's why their kids wanted to be cops, because they were like, my dad was so corrupt, I need to stop the world from...
I can respect it.
And then all the Joys were like, my dad just hurts Pokemon for, money gain.
I can respect the out of that.
Dude, and then what if the final episode is Giovanni confronting Brock, being like, oh, you're with my wife now, and Brock's like, you don't even hold a candle to me anymore.
Yeah.
And Brock just whips out like super strong rock Pokemon, and Giovanni still has like his Nidoking.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Who are you?
Get out of here, you nobody.
Yeah, you nobody.
You nobody. You didn't even try and flood the earth.
What did they ever have any of the actual villains in Pokemon? Like
Rocket.
Besides Rocket, like Team Galactic.
Magma and Aqua, I believe, were.
Oh, okay. I don't know. And I never cared enough after Johto.
Yeah.
So that's going to be it from us here. That's all your anime movies based off animes. Not all of them, because there's like, I literally looked at it like a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, there's so many.
There's so many.
If there's...
Doraemon has like 20.
If there's movies you think we should watch that we haven't listed in the past 2 episodes, please comment.
Oh, yeah.
We will gladly ignore them or check them out. Depends on how cool we are. Also, don't forget, we love fan art.
Yes.
We've been getting a couple of them coming in, as you can see right there. So if you have some fan art, make sure you upload them and tag us with hashtag #UpUpDownDown ABAB fan art.
There you go.
I remembered it.
I don't.
No, not so ever. Use that hashtag, tag us in it, and then if we like it, it'll be right up on our wall come the next episode.
Yeah, and don't forget to follow us on our Twitter at @notmike_notpat, on our TikTok at @notmike_notpat, and Instagram at @notmike_notpat.
Same with YouTube. Same with
YouTube.
Yeah. Click that link tree. It's on all of them.
Yep. Click that link tree. Go to all of them. You just find one of them, and you'll find the rest.
Yep. And we already know you shut this off because you hate our outros. So we will see you next week.
See you guys next week.